I'm gonna talk about this picture of Jerry Jones right here. This picture was taken in 1957, I believe, in Arkansas, and it shows in the back that Jerry Jones was at this school. I guess they were blocking these black kids from, trying to segregate the school, and it shows you that this man is he's a white supremacist. Especially at the age of 14, at the early age of 14, he knew what he was doing. And he said in the media, he said that he was just a curious kid. So what are you curious about not letting these black kids go to school with you back in 57, which was the height of Jim Crow. We didn't have any civil rights back then. We were just sitting ducks. We couldn't go to school with white people. We couldn't go to restaurants with white people. We couldn't use the same bathrooms as white people. And this guy talking about he was just curious. Curious about what? Curious about being anti-black racist? Curious about being a white supremacist at the age of 14? That's so early age to be racist towards somebody. So that shows you that these white supremacists teach their kids racism against black people at an early age, because he's 14 years old. What is he doing at this place? Was he going to this school? He probably was going to the school, but why were you there and not anywhere else? You were joining in with your white buddies to, sit here and call these black kids names and call them all kind of N-words because they wanted to go to school, get a better education. It's unacceptable. I live in Texas, and I live not too far from the stadium, the Cowboys Stadium, the AT&T Stadium, and I always known that Jerry Jones had a little bit of racism in him, a little bit of white supremacism. You can hear it in his voice. And a couple of years ago, he was talking about the players not kneeling and all this other stuff. So I already knew he had, white supremacist vibes with him. And this confirmed it. Most of these owners in the NFL, NBA, most of these people are just blatant white supremacists. They got their money, they rich, Yeah, they don't have a problem, paying black people, black players, because they work for them, basically like a plantation, all these different plantation owners decided back in slavery times just to get everybody off the plantation that they think can run and jump and be athletic, and get them on like a team or whatever, and play some type of sport back in the day, back when slavery was going on. That's basically what the NFL is, and the NBA and all these other sports leagues. Basically what the same stuff. These are nothing but just white supremacist slave owners, basically. And even though I've been knowing of Jerry Jones for all this time, living out here in the DFW Metroplex area, he's on all the sports channels. And he's on the local channels like Fox and CBS, ABC. Whenever he talks, they got the microphone right in front of him. So I, see it every other day about Jerry Jones. So anyway, like I said, Jerry Jones, I always knew that he was a white supremacist. And, he runs the team like it's a family business. He don't know nothing about football. He has his son and his daughters and everybody else in his family. Like they know about football, which they don't. Everybody knows he ran off Jimmy Johnson, hired Barry Switzer, a damn option coach from Oklahoma. So how is this guy going to coach a pro-style NFL team? You can't run an option like that in pros. You can run it in college. He was a wishbone coach. Gonna hire a wishbone coach. The coach Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. Like he ran Jimmy Johnson off. Jimmy Johnson is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. You're gonna run him off because he thought he knew more about football than Jimmy Johnson did. That's why the Cowboys haven't won a a Super Bowl since 95, 96 season. That's a long time ago. Almost 30 years ago. So this man don't know what the hell he's doing when it comes to football. I mean, he knows how about making money and marketing and stuff like that. Okay, the Dallas Cowboys are worth more money than any other franchise in the world, any sports league in the world. Okay, I give him that, but like I say, he's just a run-of-the-mill white supremacist. That's basically all he is. This is ridiculous. Kanye and Kyrie came out and said, well, Kanye came out and said things about Jewish people. Kyrie didn't really say anything about Jewish people. He just, posted a link to an Amazon thing for a movie that talks about Jewish people. And they made him apologize and all the other stuff. Try to make him, pay the Anti-Defamation League money. They didn't want to take it. It was like $500,000. So, since Jerry Jones want to be curious back then at trying to stop these black kids from segregating his school, he should pay black people money. He should, there's a lot of black organizations he can donate money to. He needs to donate. He needs to donate at least a couple $1 million. I wouldn't say donate to the NAACP or anything like that, but we got some foundational Black American organizations. He can donate to Tariq Nasheed's Melanoid Nation. He can donate to him. No, I wouldn't have him donate to the NAACP or any of those bougie organizations, black organizations that ain't gonna do nothing for us. He can donate to Tariq Nasheed's Melanoid Nation. At least he'll do something with that money. But he needs to donate to black organizations. Because we got you on the picture, dude. Blatantly at this, school trying to stop these kids from going to school. These black kids. They got you on this photo. I don't know where this photo came from. I don't know how long somebody been sitting on this photo, but they got this dude. It's a wrap. They got you. He might as well have been at like a KKK Klan rally. Basically, it's the equivalent. He might as well have been at one of those rallies. But Jerry Jones, he needs to donate to black organizations. I don't care about these players that he's been paying for 30-something years. Most of those players are a bunch of just Uncle Toms. They bow down to Jerry Jones like he's a plantation owner, like he's a master. Like Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and all these other guys. Especially Michael Irvin. He's the biggest Jerry Jones butt kisser you ever want to see in your life. And, Michael Irvin was on the narcotic. He was doing crack and all this other stuff. So that Jerry Jones helped him get out of trouble. So I can see that a little bit, but not all the butt kissing he been doing. Michael Irvin, you can't justify this man being there to stopping these black kids from trying to go to school. You can't justify that. There's nothing you can say. This man was caught in the photo. Ain't no telling how long somebody been sitting on this photo. This photo was like 60 years ago, and somebody circled his face. They picked him out of everybody else. So somebody had this photo. They were sitting on this photo for a long time. Somebody had it ready for something. I don't know what. I don't know why it took them so long to get this photo out in the public. I don't know who was sitting on it. But they added this man. Even though this man 80 years old, they should have, all this social media been going on for decades, for almost 20-something years now. They should have had this photo out, 10 years ago. I don't know why it took so long, but caught Jerry Jones red-handed. Even though he was 14 years old, it don't matter. It don't matter how old he was. He still participated in anti-black racism. He still wanted to participate in being a white supremacist. And like I said, he needs to be punished. He needs to donate to black organizations. He needs to get the Kyrie treatment. They want to treat Kyrie like that. When Kyrie didn't say anything about Jewish people, he didn't post nothing about Jewish people, he didn't say anything derogatory about Jewish people. Jerry Jones is at a school stopping black kids from going to the school. Talking about he was curious. What is there to be curious about? But like I said, Jerry Jones, he needs to come out of pocket. He needs to come out and apologize to black people all over the United States. He really needs to apologize to his black players that he's been having for these 30 years. He need to come out and make a statement. He came out with a statement talking about he was curious. He need to come out with another statement and apologize for being there. Because, all these football players that he had, 80% of them were black. You had your Troy Aikmans and, your Bill Bates. You had some white coaches too. But he needs to come out and apologize for this, or he needs to donate to black organizations because this is unacceptable. And I'm glad this picture came out because it exposes this man as a white supremacist at a young age. So when you learn that early to be an anti-black racist at 13, 14 years old, you take that with you for the rest of your life. You can't reform a racist. You can't reform a white supremacist. It's still in you. Like I used to see things back in the day about like a former Klan member that wasn't in the Klan anymore. Now he didn't, reformed himself not to be a white supremacist. No, that don't work like that. When you been doing something for so long, it's kind of hard to stop. It's kind of hard to stop being a white supremacist. It is. You see, when people think about racism, they think about like white racism, think about people in the KKK and the Aryan Brotherhood, Aryan Nation, whatever you want to call it. These white supremacist groups they got out here, like the Proud Boys and Patriot Front, 3%ers or whatever, the Boogaloo Boys. There's so many of them, it's hard to keep up with, but those are white extremists. A white supremacist is just your regular white person, like Jerry Jones. He's just a regular white person. Well, he was a billionaire, but he's just he's a regular white person. That's what a white supremacist is. A white supremacist is just a regular white person that just practices anti-black racism that's not in a extremist group. That's not in the KKK or the Aryan Brotherhood or the Proud Boys or Patriot Front. They're not in an organization. They're just a regular white person. He might be rich or he might be working a regular job. He's just not a part of any organization with multiple people. That's a white supremacist. A white supremacist could be like the Karens and the Kens, and that's a white supremacist. So people get those people mixed up with each other. But I just wanted to talk about that. This is a revealing picture of this man in the background. Like I said, I always known Jerry Jones was a white supremacist by the way he talked about his black players from time to time. He didn't want to pay Emmitt Smith. He thinks he knows everything about football when he don't know jack squat about football. He don't know how to run a team. That's why the Cowboys are where they at right now. Haven't won a Super Bowl since 95, 96 because of him. Now he would just sit back and be like the rest of the owners, like Robert Kraft. He owns the Patriots. He just sits back and let Bill Belichick run the team, and that's why the Patriots have been winning Super Bowls. But Jerry Jones wants to be all in the mix. Wants to take credit for something that he don't know nothing about. All he needs to do is just worry about the business side of the Dallas Cowboys. Let the coaches coach, and let him just cut the check. That's what he don't realize, and that's why the Cowboys are where they at right now. That's why, like I said, that's why the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in almost 30 years, because of Jerry Jones. when Jerry Jones decided to sit down and stop talking to the media and just shut up and let the coaches run the team and let them handle the football aspects of the team, then they'll start winning more Super Bowls. But until then, the Cowboys ain't winning another Super Bowl. And the Jones family are just a bunch of degenerates. They got so much stuff going on with them. Man, this family is, rich, just a rich white family with all these problems. Every time you turn around, they in the news for something. Jerry Jones got, illegitimate children running around. I think he's going to get sued or something from a woman claiming to be, his daughter. He got too much stuff going on. It was a couple years ago. No, about 5 or 6 years ago, was a picture of him with two young white girls. He was dancing, and one white girl was dancing on him. That was a long time ago. He's always involved in some type of little scandal. Not every time you turn around, but every couple of years, he's always involved in something. He don't want to sit down. This man is 80 years old. Man needs to sit down and enjoy the rest of his time on this earth. It's always getting in some type of scandal. Every couple of years is something new. Now you got this old picture from 1957, way back in Arkansas, before he was rich. Because he wasn't rich when he was 14 years old. He just a broke kid coming from a broke family. So I believe that Jerry Jones, he's a white supremacist. I believe that, And like I said, he needs to donate to black organizations. So if he doesn't come out and try to donate to nobody, we really need to get him to sell the Cowboys. I don't know, the NFL ain't going to do that, but if black people start speaking up and start boycotting the Cowboys, because a lot of black people are Cowboy fans. I'm not really a Cowboy fan like that. I like watching football for the entertainment purposes, but I don't get all wrapped up into, the Cowboys or any other NFL team. I'm not a fanatic like that. I know a couple people who are Cowboy fans. They're fanatics about the Cowboys, but I can't be no fan of a white supremacist team owner that I've been having inklings about for decades, knowing that he might be a white supremacist because of the little things that he says. I can't be no Cowboy fan. Even though Jerry Jones didn't invent the Cowboys, he bought it from somebody else. I can see that, but I ain't never been a diehard Cowboy fan, knowing that this man he's a white supremacist. He was telling the players not to kneel a couple years ago, about 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't too much care for that. He's a part of the problem. He's a part of, why white supremacy runs the United States and why white supremacy runs the whole world. He's a part of the problem. And like I said, he needs to donate to black organizations. He can donate to me. Shit. But that's been Mo the God King. That's my take on Jerry Jones. He's out there talking about he was curious. Okay, man. He should have been somewhere at home doing his homework instead of running around with his friends being anti-black racist. And there's no excuse for that, what he's done. I don't care how long ago was it. 60 years ago. Well, he's 80 years old right now, so that was about 66 years ago? Yeah, 66 years ago. He was 14 years old. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Even though it was 66 years ago, that still don't mean nothing. Because they always go back and get the Nazi folks that was, terrorizing the Jewish people. They always get them and bringing them to court and give them jail time, even though they might be 80 years old. It don't matter. You still was out there. You still participated in white supremacy. You still participated in anti-black racism. So he needs to be punished. You're going to punish Kyrie. You're going to punish Kanye. Punish him. There should be no racial double standards. If you're going to punish people, make it equal. Like I said, this has been Mo the God King, Church Tabernacle Preach. I'm going to land my plane. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to holler.